What's up, guys? We're back with another episode. Wow. We have none other than my aunt and uncle, Joel and Tonya Shepherd.
Yeah, boy.
Let's get into it.
Okay, ready? All right, guys. Welcome back to Joel's favorite segment, This One Time at Church. And I wanted to start this one off. And I read this. I'm not Joel. I promise I'm not the one saying this. They said that I could beat Joel in a fist fight. I'm just telling you, dude. All right. That's what people are saying.
Hey, let's stop everything we're doing and let's just do that on this episode.
We'll do it.
We would have so many hits. Y'all just duke it out. Y'all just duke it out. We'll move the table.
Adrian's going to get beat up at the very end, so y'all tune in. All right. Y'all quit cutting up, dude. This is the Lord's house. We got a couple of videos. We're going to jump right in. Here is the first one.
I'm going to get you. I don't know how, but I'm going to get you. Yeah. Oh,
yeah. Okay, this is a good one right here. I love this. This is the sheep that Jesus left the 99 for.
Here come bad news, talking this and that. Well, give me all you got.
He was a sheep. That's Caleb the sheep right there.
Hey, and in honor of the biker man himself, you know we had to throw a biker meme in there. So here we go.
Don't touch it. Don't even look at it. Go on, get out. You heard me. Don't look at me either.
Don't look at me either. Oh, dude, and that's been another episode of This One Time at Church. Thank you. And here we are, baby. I am excited to do this one. Joel is one of the most spiritual men I know. For real, man. I'm so excited because, yes, you are a big, scary man, right? When people look at you, they're like, oh, God, I don't want to cross that guy. But I know you love some Jesus. And I've seen some things shift in you this year, and I want to tell you personally, I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
Are you going to cry?
No.
Dang it.
I did mean that, though. I really did mean that. Seriously, you guys have just endured some, one of the toughest things this year by far, you know, and we've kind of got into that. We're going to have that man on.
Yeah,
episodes to talk
we're going to have a son-in-law on, Drew.
But just watching what you guys went through and your obedience through that process was really, really cool to watch. But I'm excited. I'm excited to have you guys on and really talk about your guys' ministry and just kind of how we came about. And so I really wanted to kick it off. And you guys, I mean, feel free to, both of you kind of jump in anywhere. But spoken for, motorcycle ministry, we kind of want to just dive into that.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Hey, let's start before. We gotta figure out how they got into ministry.
Well, we're gonna go.
Yeah,
Before
before spoken for.
Yeah, okay, well let's go.
How did you ever leave? How did you ever leave the Lord's side when you had Linda Shepherd, out of all people, showing you the ways of Jesus? I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Oh no! What a question.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
It was tough. You know, I honestly, we had, in the house I grew up in, we had both sides of the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We had Mama that was God-fearing, loved Jesus, just sweetest woman in the world, and then we had Daddy.
I concur.
Lamar.
We had my daddy. Mm-hmm. You know, he was rough around the edges. Now, don't get me wrong. He didn't love. It ain't that he didn't love Jesus. He was just rough around the edges.
I get it.
What come up, come out. Didn't care who was around.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess because I hung with Daddy more.
Yeah.
Growing up.
Yeah.
You know, he always had me working with him, doing things, and my comfort zone was that rougher side.
Yeah.
You know, so when I got out and was able to make my own decisions, whether I go to church or not, or, you know, I just leaned more towards that rougher side. Mm-hmm. You know, Daddy had guys hang out in the shop, you know, just out there doing what they do, things they done down there Mama didn't allow in the house. So Daddy spent a lot of time in the shop.
Amen.
Nanny holding that line. Hey,
Daddy
Cooking
even
up
knows,
funny smells. That's what we're doing.
hey, Paul, hey,
Daddy
Paul,
even know that line not to cross. You know what I mean? So,
man, let me tell you, because anytime he would cross that line, Nanny would hit him with a Lamar, and he knew then he'd get that little smile, and he knew he's like, okay, I'm gonna back down.
yeah.
He didn't want them big Nanny hands hitting him.
Nah.
So let me ask you this too. Just knowing some of your history, and you can share as much as you want to. Just where was your come to Jesus meeting? Where was it like, hey, this crap's got to stop. I got to get real about this.
If you really want to know the truth, it was building this church.
Interesting.
You know, Bishop come to me. You know, Bishop, for the ones y'all don't know, is my brother-in-law. Pastor Stacy is my sister. He come to me, and I was living out in the world. I was doing my thing. I was riding motorcycles, drinking, partying, doing what I wanted to do. And he come to me when they decided to build a church. And he said, he asked me, he said, Joel, can you talk to some of these contractors for me? He said, we don't have anybody in the congregation right now that's in construction. Will you go with them? And back at that time, I was self-employed electrician. And I had done told him I would do the family thing and wire the church for him at no cost. I said, if the church will buy the material, I'll put it in for nothing.
Right.
I'm going to do the thing, the family thing. It had nothing to do about Jesus in my mind at that point. You know? So we come out here, and, you know, I was here when we unloaded the loaders off the lowboys. And I was here every day. And Bishop would stop by every day, because I'd done told him, leave your church people away from here. I don't want them here. You know, I didn't like church people.
Yeah.
And there's still a lot of them today I don't like.
Amen. Amen.
Well, you want to drop any names there?
Hey, can I tell you who he wanted there, though? He wanted me and my brother there so he could torture us the whole time. Well,
I believe it.
I can't remember how old we were, but we were young, man. And he's like, I could run a ditch witch, but I want to see you guys dig it.
Yeah.
So we're out there digging the ditch beside, what is that? The transformer. The transformer out there.
Transformer to the building. Y'all hand dug it.
We had to hand dig it, man. I remember going home, blisters on my hands, man. Like,
I've done it. When you're an apprentice on a job site.
oh yeah.
Well, you know, boys need to be taught to be men when they grow up.
Amen. Yes.
And I'm a firm believer of that.
Yeah.
You know, you can call it hard, you can call it old school, you can call it what you want to, but I believe that a boy ought to be raised to be a man.
Amen.
No, and honestly, still in my subconscious today, man, like my work ethic is, y'all may not like me, my work ethic is, I love to work. And it's because of what my pawpaw, Joel, my dad, like, they'll tell you, you get up, you go to work. There ain't no questions. My dad's never missed a day in 38 years, I think. Same for you. He don't miss no time.
As much.
No. So it's always, you know, hey, one day you're going to be providing, so you better get it together now. Mm-hmm. I remember he called me lazy a few times, and I was like, yep, that didn't feel good.
And some of y'all are sitting on the couch right now eating a bag of Doritos and drinking a Coke. Y'all need to get up and get to work, baby.
Bro.
And I want to bring this point, too. It's so funny that you weren't looking for anything, and you thought you were just helping out a family member, but really what God was doing was he's like,
It was divine.
He said, no, you're going to plant a seed.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to water that seed that you're planting, because even though you unknowingly, you're like, I'm going to do the family thing, God's like, no, that's a seed that you're putting into the ground. That's a seed for your kid's future, for the future of the family. You know what I mean? Because even this has brought us all closer. You know, I get to see, a lot of people don't get to see their family every week.
Yep.
I get to see them every single Sunday. I get to see my grandma, my nanny, my cousins, my uncles, my aunts, and that's just the seed that, you know, my father planted. He planted for his kids.
Yeah.
That's just amazing.
So, and feel free to jump in.
I was about to say, Adrian, are you going to say anything? You look terrified over there. I love you.
No, I'm just listening.
Don't let that annoying scare you, dude. He's cool, man. He's a good guy.
And Tonya, your turn's coming. We're just letting you cook for a minute.
Yeah,
we're letting you cook. That's the hot seat right there.
We're letting you ponder. Yeah. So
every day Bishop would stop in here, and he would speak into my life. At that time in my life, I didn't know what he was doing. Mm-hmm. He knew all along what he was doing.
Of course.
Because he would make comments to me about coming to church or doing this or that was Jesus, and I'd laugh at him. I didn't hide it. You can ask him. I'd laugh to him in his face.
Oh, we believe you.
You know, he'd invite me to church. I'd say, I'm the last person you need up in there. You know, and I wouldn't come. But after we got into the church, building it, again, it was part of God's plan. Bishop was having his meetings after church with his board over any changes or anything. So the first few he had, I showed up and sat in the parking lot till church was over, and I'd walk in there with a roll of prints under my arms, and we're going to sit down and have this meeting. Well, as it went on, I was showing up a little bit earlier, and I'd go on in. You know,
Some seeds.
Time we got this building built, I was in church every Sunday. Matter of fact, the Sunday before we had closing on this building, I did not go to church. I worked here. It was my birthday, and there was a few people from church, and I had a few contractors in here that showed up. And I guess it just, the last conversation I remember having with Bishop in this building, before we moved it, before it was, the church moved into it, was he come in and he had a catalog and said, hey, with this desk fit in my office, I want all this whole setup, the shelves, the whole 9 yards. He said, will it fit? And I looked at it and I said, yeah. He said, just think, one day you're going to sit behind this desk right here and you're going to write out your first sermon. Now I was working here all day, going home, drinking beer, doing what
Come on, dude.
when I left here.
Hey.
You know, y'all laughing about the church folks. I didn't want them around, but I was serious. I run church folks off of this job. They went to Bishop on me. And Bishop, you know what Bishop's excuse? Yeah, Bishop's, and Bishop told them all the same thing.
Yeah.
If you got a problem with Joel, you need to take it up with Joel, because God told me Joel needed to build that church.
Come on. Yeah. Okay.
And, you know, I did run with some rough crowd on motorcycles. And all this was happening during that final stage where I was at the point of I needed to go to the next level in that world. But the funny thing about it was every time we went to have that conversation, something come up. Or I couldn't get it out, and I didn't know why, to go to that next level. But it was all in God's plan. You know, God opened doors for me back then for now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Because I'm able to go to places now that none of y'all could walk up in.
I believe it.
No.
Yeah. I believe it.
You couldn't get on the property.
Yeah.
Especially not me.
Why is that?
Oh, it's funny.
Oh man! For those of y'all that are listening and not watching on YouTube, yeah, you won't get it. Tune into YouTube.
Go watch Gangland.
Oh my gosh, man!
But I knew once I got in here and we started, you know, I started getting involved with the church. I knew God had something more for me to do.
Yeah.
It wasn't just showing up here on Sunday morning, Sunday night, Wednesday night. That He wanted me to do more.
Yeah.
So it started out. I'm not a suit and tie kind of guy, but I knowed I was supposed to be carrying God's word. I was supposed to be telling people about Jesus, and I knew that.
Yeah.
But I argued with God because I wasn't going to do it with a suit and tie. That was not me.
Yeah.
I did not want to give up that motorcycle. I love that life.
Yeah.
I love those people. And I just, I I prayed to God, and you know, the funny thing about it, when I was running with those guys, I didn't see these motorcycle ministries back then like you see now. There was 2 or 3, but out of all the years I run with them, I never met any until I started to start Spoken For. I tried. I knowed of a couple, and I went and rode with them a little bit, but they wasn't my kind of people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They wasn't. They didn't have the background I had. You know, as we like to call them, fair weather riders.
Yeah.
You know, these guys want to ride 20 miles, go get an ice cream, and then go home and wipe on their bike for 2 or 3 hours. Okay, my bike don't even get clean now unless she washes it.
Yeah.
You know, she'll tell you
Yeah.
every year before bike week that my bike's gonna get a bath, but she's gonna do it
Yeah.
because she ain't gonna ride on no dirty bike week. She'll ride on it all the way around here like that, but she don't do it during bike week. But so those guys wasn't. I didn't fit with them guys.
Yeah.
So I prayed about it. And God says, time for you to start it. One. So we started, and I worked a lot in the beginning. I had by this time I had met a guy we call Hollywood. He's with BFC. And the funny thing about it is I met this guy, and we knowed a lot of the same people. But in our past, we never crossed paths.
Wow.
We was at the same events at the same time
Wow.
and never met each other back then.
Interesting.
Probably because if we'd have met each other back then, we'd both either be dead or in prison right now together.
Yeah. Wow. So let me ask you, how did you have the vision for Spoken For? So how did that come to be? You know, from you coming to the church, was it like, you know, private conversation or something that God laid on your heart? Or
No, it was where I was comfortable.
yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I was comfortable with.
yeah,
Now you put me in a building full of bikers, I'm fine.
yeah,
You put me in a building full of people in suit and ties, I'm a nervous wreck.
yeah,
You know, it's just my company.
yeah.
You know,
That's how I'm gonna fight him. I'm gonna put on the suit and tie.
That's it. Yeah, that's it.
That's his kryptonite, dude. That's
That is.
there.
Now, so we didn't have. I remember we didn't have anything like that before, nor had I even heard of it. When my dad said, Joel and Sam were going to start this biker ministry, I was like, a biker ministry, like a club,
Weirdos.
Yeah, I think Sons of Anarchy and stuff was coming out then, so I was like, hey, I'm joining. Patch me in, brother. Patch me in up.
Nah.
Oh God.
But so was that something that God laid on your heart that you approached them with?
yes.
Wow.
It was.
Okay.
It was. You know, God really started dealing with me, and I really felt like I needed to go back to where I come from.
Right.
That was my whole thing. I needed to go back to those people.
Yeah, and I think the thing I remember most about those beginning days of Spoken For were probably located in this kitchen right here, from you guys just working and working and working. And your big thing was, hey, the homeless people, that they've got to eat more than just at Christmas time.
Yeah.
So
Right.
you started just. Lord, I can't remember how many times y'all went, but it was just all the
Yeah.
time.
You know, and then how that got started, that was kind of a branch off of it. I was coming down Moreland Avenue back then, and
Moreland Avenue, boy.
He's strapped.
I was
strapped.
on my way
He's okay.
home from work. I'd been working in downtown all day, but my mama was raised really poor. And she would tell us stories as kids of when she was coming up and didn't have a baby doll.
Wow.
That she would get sticks and old glass Coke bottles and take her mama's extra cloth where she'd been sewing on a quilt or something and make clothes and put on them Coke bottles and things, and she would play with them because she didn't have the money.
Wow.
She didn't have a baby doll or something. She'd wrap her stick in cloth and, things. And that stuck with me all my life. And I was sitting on Moreland Avenue one day at a red light right there at 20 at the bridge. And I looked up, and there was a homeless guy pushing a buggy from the grocery store down the sidewalk and had everything this man owned in that buggy. Mm-hmm. You could tell he was homeless. And it was like God was in the truck with me. And I heard a voice, it was plain as day, said, give them what they don't have. Mm. So me, as a young Christian, in my mind, that was food, clothes, you know, all that. So I was sitting at the red light at the bridge when that come through. Before I got on 20, I was on the phone with my wife at that time, Sam, that helped start this. And I told her, I said, I need you to get on the computer and I need you to order gallon Ziploc bags, a case of them. I said, everything I'm telling you, I need you to order me a case. Mm-hmm. I said, bars of soap, wash rags, Bibles, mm-hmm. packs of crackers, socks. And what we would do is we'd sit at home at night on the kitchen table, and I'd put a Bible and a pair of crackers in there and a new pair of socks, a bottle of water, a hairbrush or a comb, some deodorant, soap, in them bags. Because the number one thing I had actually got to talking to some people, and the number one thing most visits to the emergency room for homeless or less fortunate people is getting their socks cut off their feet, because they wear the same pair of socks so long their skin grows through their socks.
Wow.
And they have to go get them. So I said, well, that's something I can give them that they ain't got, a clean pair of socks.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I would put them in a cardboard box in the front seat of my truck. And when I would go to work, or when I was in Atlanta or anywhere I was at, and I seen somebody that was less fortunate or holding up a sign or whatever, I'd roll down my window and just hand them one of them bags.
Wow.
We called them care packages.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got where I was seeing a lot of the same ones. So I talked to them. Well, next thing you know, they'd invite me. Hey, I got a bunch more folks down here, man. You know, I said, well, let me run over here to wherever, the McDonald's or the Burger King or whatever, and I'd get a sack full of hamburgers and some French fries, and I always kept a cooler of water on the truck. Mm-hmm. So I would pull down to these parks in Atlanta, and I would walk down through there with a sack full of whatever, and I'd sit down in the middle of them in the park, and I'd say, y'all eat, let's talk. Wow. And what we would do is nothing. I am a firm believer in, you cannot tell somebody about Jesus beating them in the head with a Bible.
Amen.
Not somebody
Amen.
in that mind.
Yeah.
Amen.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, you get them inside this church doors, you might have a chance of doing it that way. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You ain't going to do it out there.
No.
Mm-mm.
And I've always lived by that.
Yeah.
Since this ministry started, we will not. Everybody that has come through in this ministry, I have told, we will not beat nobody in the head with a Bible.
No.
We're going to show them love.
That's it.
Yep.
And that's all you got to do.
Who is God? God is
love. And you'll know that they'll know you're my disciples by the love that you show others.
And so that grew from that to, why don't you come to where we live? Mm-hmm. Which is tracts of land that is owned by the state or by the railroads or places like that, and they have permission to build plywood huts.
So can I jump in?
Yeah.
I went one time with
Yeah.
you
You did.
and saw that blew my mind.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen it, but it's not like a little box that they crawl into. They've built like little
houses.
No, they had
It's almost,
they had a mayor of the town. I met
right,
one
yeah,
time.
mayor,
Every community of these houses, and they're all over.
Yeah.
Every community has what they call their mayor.
Yeah.
And he tells you if you can live there or you can't.
Wow.
There's another nonprofit organization. It's not Christian based. I've met him. That actually build the houses and get permission to put them on these pieces of property. Mm-hmm. And then they put one person in there first and said, here you are, you stay here. You're going to be the mayor, so you decide who these other cabins are for. And if somebody ain't working with you, if they're not doing their part or you're having problems out of them, put them out. I mean, I've been out there and they burned somebody's hut down.
Golly.
Because they wouldn't leave. They done told them to leave. They wouldn't leave. They go over and burn a hut down. Well, now you can't come back.
Yeah.
You know? And then this other organization goes out there and replaces it. But,
It's a Wild West out there.
but they have some of the older buildings. They'll turn them into libraries. People will donate books, and you go over there, and the people in that little camp can go in there and get books and read them, and you know.
I remember that. I remember that the most was walking into that little library they had.
That was crazy,
That was so cool to me because I'm like, man,
grow,
they have it set up.
They'll have little gardens. They'll have tomato plants and things like that out there, so they can eat fresh vegetables, and it's really amazing.
It's interesting.
But see, like one thing for me as a kid too, because obviously we're close, so I watched a lot the way he worked, the way he moved, and man, seeing that, like coming in, hearing the messages preached about the love of Jesus, and then seeing them back in the room, and someone like Joel, I'm just saying, as a kid, he's Big Joel, Big Uncle Joel.
Yeah.
Now, why you got to do your arms like that?
Okay, because
It's like this.
Did you?
yeah,
see
it's like.
that?
Yeah.
It's more muscular, you know what I mean? But now seeing someone like you humble themselves and go out there and give your free time, because I know how hard you work too, and how hard you've always worked.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm like, man, I'm complaining at this point about having to go to baseball practice after school. This man's working 70-hour weeks, coming to the church at nights, packing bags, no benefit of his. You know what I mean? And going and handing them out.
Yeah.
And it was just awesome to see how everybody rallied.
Yeah.
But then, of course, everybody gets weary and well-doing. Not you, but other people.
So let me ask this, because I'm not knocking nobody out there, but there are people out there that are like, well, I got a family, I got to go home, I can't work at the church, or I've been working long hours all week or all day. I'm not doing this for the ministry. I'm not doing that for ministry. How do you find the heart for one? And then the consistency and the dedication to do that, because I've worked with you, back before you even went to where you're at now, so I've seen how hard you work. I've worked with you. I've been worked like a dog by Joel. So like,
it's not a fun place to be.
So where does that stem from? Because it's not easy. It's not easy to go bust your butt for 10, 11, 12 hours and then like, all right, I'm going to the church, get these care bags or whatever it is, and then go right out here and work in the community.
It's funny. I've never thought of it that way, because I've always God's always managed my time. He's always, now I ain't going to say that there ain't lots of nights I went to bed and said, Lord, please give me a peaceful night's sleep. Let me get some rest. I'm wore out.
Yeah.
But he always done it. The next morning I woke up refreshed and ready to go, even if it was only a 2-hour nap that I had to take that night, Yeah. But I've just always let him hey, you want me to do it, you deal with it. You know?
Hey, that's right.
You
You're
fix
right,
it.
Yeah.
It's God's
You
will.
fix
It's
it.
God's will.
That's right.
That's it. Okay.
That's right. And and then that side of it, the less fortunate grew, and we met some people down in Daytona that had a church that they'd only help the less fortunate one night a week. They cooked there one night a week. That's the only time the building got used. So we'd met with him, and he said, well, why don't you come down here and do something for Bike Week? I said, okay, well, in my mind, I said, okay, he wants us to come out here and preach and this, that, and the other. He said, no, I ain't going to tell you what to do. He said, you just need to come down here. So I went down there, and for the first Bike Week in 2009, I think it was, and I just went down there to see what I could do. So he had a guy going to his church that was a ex-club member, and he wanted me to hook up with him, and he was going to show me where everything was at Daytona Bike Week. And so we stayed in this church that night on bedrolls. We rode down there, and that's all we had. We had a bedroll and a few clean pair of socks and a couple pair of clean drawers. And that was it. You know, you wore the same clothes you had on from the time you left till you got back home. You know,
Hey,
that's the way we done it.
it's that life you wanted, though.
That's the life I
Yeah,
wanted.
exactly.
That's the
See?
life I lived. I loved it.
Yeah.
You know, and so went down there and I met this guy. His name was Big Steve,
Oh,
and
yeah.
he was 6'9", 450 pounds on a light day. He rode a Road King and sat on the back seat. The front seat looked brand new. He sat on the back seat of this bike. So I hear a bike pull up outside the church we're staying in, and I go to the front doors. They told me, they said, this church is in the rough part of town. Make sure you keep the doors locked. People walk in on you. So I was headed towards the front doors to unlock the door. Well, I look out the window of the door, and when I look out the window, I'm looking in some dude's chest.
Oh, God.
And I unlock the door, and he comes in, and he's very old school, straight to the point, no joking, no. There was no, hey, how you doing? He walked in the door, and he said, well, let me tell you, this is how we're going to do this. That was the first conversation we had. Let me tell you how we're going to do this. And so we went around, and he took me to different ministries, all the motorcycle ministries that was there for Bike Week. They had tents set up in all these different areas, and he took me and introduced me to all these people, ministries I'd never heard of, didn't even know existed, from all over the United States was there, and so met some good contacts back then, and we kind of hit it off, and I didn't think we did, because the last thing I said to him was not very Christian-like before I left. We kind of butted heads a little bit, and we kind of both went back our old ways. But you know, later on that week, he called me, and he said, I just want to let you know you've earned every bit of respect I got for you.
Yeah.
He said, do you not realize how long it's been since a man stood up to me like you did?
Wow.
And I said, well, I appreciate it, but I meant every word I say.
You can still get these hands.
Hey, let me tell you, for real, he's down. This dude was huge, man. And when he walked in a room and spoke,
Oh, yeah.
everybody could hear him. You knew he was there. He actually preached here numerous times. He was a Rhema guy. He loved Kenneth Hagin.
Yep.
So he'd come in here and preach.
I've seen him.
You probably have.
Yeah.
But he came in and preached a message word of faith message, preached the house down, prayed for people for healing. Like,
Yeah. I had him up here one biker weekend that we done. Had him up here, and he preached that Sunday morning. And after service, he come to me and said, can I preach again tonight? We want him to go home. And he preached that Sunday night too.
Heck yeah, dude.
Sure did.
amazing too, man. And not just preaching, teaching, like teaching the ways of God.
Wow.
But that went on Bike Week. We started out trying to hold church services in that little old church because we was 2 blocks off Main Street, 2 blocks off the ocean. Mm-hmm. Perfect location. Well, all we was getting was Christian bikers in there. Mm-hmm. Well, that's preaching to the choir, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, so people would start showing up a little bit. The less fortunate, the homeless, whatever. I prefer to call it less fortunate. They would start showing up and asking, hey, if we come to church, will you feed us? And I said, what? And they said, if we come to church, will you give us something to eat afterwards if we sit through your church service? And I said, why would I do that? Why would you have to come to church for me to give you something to eat? And they said, well, that's how they do it here. And I said, who does it? They said, all the local churches. You have to come in and sit down at a service
in order to get food.
In order to get fed.
Wow.
Backwards.
Wow.
Backwards.
So I said, well, let me tell you what we not going to do. You want something to eat, I'll walk in this kitchen right now and fix you something. This church had a full kitchen in it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've been there.
Yeah.
And I would go in there, and even if this was before we was cooking, and we just had food we bought for us there in that kitchen, and I would go in there and fix them something to eat, and I would sit down and talk with them.
Yeah.
Well, all that done was open doors, because the next night they done told 15 of their friends.
All coming. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Hey, Bishop, we're going to need some more funds for this trip.
You ain't gonna believe this. We don't have to go to church. Dude.
So at that point, we started building our teams bigger to go with us, so that we at least had 25 people there at all times.
Wow.
Because we was getting more on one-on-one ministering. They was opening up to us on one-to-one. They was getting more out of that than they was getting at any one of them church
No doubt.
services.
No doubt.
We tried, like I said, we tried the church service things. And it wasn't. I wasn't going to feed them if they didn't come to church. You know what I mean? It was none of that. We wanted to have church, and they would come in there and they would sit down and they'd go to sleep.
Yep.
They we had the air conditioning on. They're in Daytona.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
They've been out in the sun all day.
Yeah.
You know.
I can't even blame them.
So, and it just grew from there. And the last several years that we was able to do that, we was down there for 10 days. We was serving 6,500 plates in 10 days.
Wow.
2 meals a day. We cooked breakfast and we cooked them supper.
Wow.
And if they had a chance and come by during lunch and was hungry, there was chance they could get leftovers or something. We would heat them up something. We wasn't going to leave and not let them eat. But we didn't cook them. We didn't give them. One of my biggest things was I said, if we're going to do this, I'm not feeding them a daggum sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to feed them something worth eating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because 90% of the time, you give them a brown sack that's got a sandwich in there and a bag of tater chips, 90% of the time, they throwing that sandwich away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because they get tired of bologna sandwiches. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all they ever get.
Yeah.
So we give them home-cooked meals. We would do breakfast. We would do eggs to order, grits, toast, and some kind of meat, whether it was a sausage or bacon or whatever.
Boy, I'm hungry.
They got you know.
And if y'all never had Joel's food, let me tell you, it's come to a cookout here.
We would do gravy and biscuits, and every biscuit was handmade and hand rolled.
Thank you, Jesus.
The gravy,
Cathead.
the gravy was handmade. Well, why do you think I'm talking like you? The gravy was all homemade. There was nothing in a can. Same way with supper, we'd do chicken and dumplings and pork roast and and all the fixings with it.
Keep going.
And we would feed them until they was full.
Yep.
It wasn't a one you're done.
Yeah.
You sit right here, and when you want a plate, all you got to do is let somebody know. We had people walking around. These people did not. We was there to serve. A lot of the ministries, and I'm not knocking none of them what they do. Don't get me wrong. Huh? Maybe just a little. Maybe just a little. But they would have them where, if you're going to eat here, you're going to mop that floor. You're going to sweep the floor.
Man.
We didn't do that.
Yeah.
They would try. Hey, can I mop the floor being you fed? No, you can't. That's why we're here. We're here to serve y'all.
Yeah.
And we loved it. We enjoyed it. Things happened. A hurricane come through Daytona a few years back. Sat on top of Daytona for 24 hours.
Yeah.
Well, when it done it, the church that we was able to use, it demolished it.
Yeah.
So we're not able to do that no more there. But we're looking for a place that we can go back and do that. We're missing that because before it was all over with, and we done that for 13, 14, 15 years.
Yeah.
We done that.
Yeah.
And we had got in with different ministries. People would come from different ministries from all over the United States and help.
Yeah.
They would show up and say, hey, such and such, they told us to come over here that you was doing this and we want to come serve.
Wow.
Yeah.
And we'd put them to work.
Well, we got a lot of listeners in Florida, so somebody.
That's right.
Exactly. Come on.
Down there.
And if
Hey.
you got somewhere that they can come and do this, hey, let us know. Seriously, reach out.
And-
We'll make that happen.
Real quick,
What?
we got to put her on the hot spot now.
Hold on,
She's-
hold on,
she-
hold on. Because I want to say something really quick. Because he said something that was so profound, and this is like I'm a giver. I'm all about giving. Giving has changed my
I'll give you
life.
my checking account number.
I'll take care of you. That has put me in a position of where I'm at the age that I'm at. It's just God. Let's just say that. And you said something that was so profound, and we've hit on this several times. Like John 3:16 says, "What for God to love the world that He
gave.
gave, not that for God to love the world that He waited on you to do something
And then
in
gave.
order for Him to give." And it's so sad that we've got it so backwards. And it's not. I don't even think it's just in that ministry. It's in a lot of ministries. Like if you want me to do something for you, you got to do something for me.
Yeah.
Right.
That's not what Jesus did.
Right.
Jesus said, "Come here, let me love the heck out of you." Right? That's
Yeah.
it. I don't need
Yeah.
nothing in return. I just want to love you.
Yeah.
And so I think that is so prominent, like what you said, because it wasn't about, all right, well, you come in here and come sit in here on Sunday morning, or you come in here and you sweep the floors, you clean the bathroom
Yeah.
back there, then I'll feed you.
Right.
You just come sit down.
Well,
Let me love on you.
It reminds me of that scripture. I can't remember the exact reference,
Uh-oh,
but it's
I thought
like.
she was a Bible scholar.
No, be quiet.
Okay, hey,
You
man,
can,
that's
you can
what I
look it
heard.
up on Google. Y'all got Chat GPT and stuff. But it's like, if someone says they're cold and you tell them, hey, I'm going to pray for you, but they go away still cold,
What did that do?
what good does that
Yeah.
do for them? No, you meet
Yeah.
the need, and then God will work the rest out because
Correct.
you're planting a seed. It's not about.
Correct.
It's not about. Hey, Jesus, blah, blah. No, just plant the seed. You trusted Jesus to change your life, but you don't trust him to be God in someone else's life.
That's right.
And that's a problem.
Yeah.
But, yeah, she does more than clean bikes. This is Tonya Shepherd.
Tanya Shepherd.
Let's get into. I just want the people to know, because obviously a lot of people know who you guys are, but I don't think I even know, honestly, how y'all came about.
You don't know?
I don't think I do.
You don't know?
Or maybe I do.
How do I know?
If you want to tell that story on here,
I forget my address sometimes.
You want to tell that story?
I just want to know how Tonya got involved with Spoken For. Like, how did that come about?
it is a miraculous heavenly thing.
It
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
is.
really, it's,
And I don't
If
mind
y'all wanna
telling
share,
them.
yeah,
we
yeah.
can share.
Yeah.
I don't mind. Do you mind share? I mean, do you mind tell? Or okay, well,
right.
we can share it.
Let's do it,
Yeah.
dude.
I'll start it off.
Do we need to censor anything? We need to put beeps in there,
No.
Ashton? Are we good? Okay.
Yeah, he's stupid.
I'll start it off. Now, I know y'all heard me say earlier
Let
that
me do this.
Yeah, you go ahead, girl.
Let me do this.
Go ahead.
So when I started coming to church out here, I decided that I would get involved with the outreach.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went to a meeting or two, and then I was like working 12-hour shifts,
Mm-hmm.
trying to do Bible college. It was just too much. So I come to Sam and Joel, and I said, hey, I really want to be a part. I'll help where I can, but I'm not committing. I can't commit.
Yeah.
And so I would come and I would help whenever I could. Now, tell the story.
so the people listening or watching or whatever has heard Sam's name brought up
For sure.
a few
Yep.
times during this. She was my first wife, my high school sweetheart. We got married back in '97, and we was married up until 2016. We lost her to breast cancer at the age of 38 years old. She was a Christian lady. Now we wasn't always. Now she would go with me now. I'm gonna go on and tell you she was scooter trash. She would go to the parties, the rallies, the bike weeks with me, and party just as hard as I did. But when she finally decided it was time to change,
Can I just insert
she
this
did,
real
I
quick?
didn't.
I remember when we went on family vacation and y'all snuck out at night and went to go party.
Oh, I didn't sneak.
I see them going out late. I'm like,
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
know
We
what's
did.
up.
We did. We would let everybody kind of get calmed down, and then we'd ease on out.
That is
As long as we was back by daylight, we was
you go,
good.
baby.
We didn't have to answer no questions.
I was like,
But anyway, so she started turning her life around long before I did.
Yeah.
You know, we had 2 daughters, and she hid all that from them. My kids never knew what all I was involved in. Till to this day, they don't know all. But she was my blocker. She picked up all my slack when I wasn't there, when I didn't show up, when I had other things to do because of other commitments I had. She always covered for me. And so she was diagnosed with stage 3 breast cancer at 28 years old back in 2006. My oldest daughter was 6 years old, and my youngest was 5. She fought for 10 years. She had a clean bill of health there for about a 5-6 year stint there. They give her a clean bill of health. She went on a trip with the women of this church. They used to do a women's cruise about once a year or every other year, something. All the women get together and they'd go on a cruise for a week. So she was going on this cruise, and she had got in touch with me on the cruise and said, "You need to, can you see if you can get me an appointment set up with my oncologist?" I said, "What's going on?" She says, "I can't breathe." She says, "I've been on this cruise and I have not hardly been able to leave the room because I can't catch my breath." So I made her an appointment. When she come back, took her to the doctor, and the cancer had come back with a vengeance. It started in her breast, and this time they'd run her through a PET scan, and it was in the fatty tissue around her heart, in her lungs, in her chest bone, in vertebrae, and they had told her, "You ain't got long." And she told them, "That's not a decision you can make. My God's bigger than anything that you've got."
Come on.
And she says, so they had told her, you know, "There's no cure for this. You're going to die with this." She wouldn't accept that.
Yeah.
She lived 3 or 4 years longer than what she was supposed to have
Wow.
lived at a minimum.
Wow.
And about a year before she passed away, she said, "Joel, we need to talk." And I said, "Okay." So we sat down, and she says, "You know I'm not going to make it." She says, "The first time I was diagnosed with cancer," she said, "God told me I was going to be fine. I didn't worry about it. The only thing she worried about was losing her hair. That's how I lost my hair. That was her biggest thing, was losing her hair." She called me that day crying and said, "My hair is coming out by the handfuls. I can't even get it off of me in the shower." I stopped and bought a set of them trimmer things. On the way home from work, I walked in. She was sitting at the kitchen table, had her head down, and she had she was something in front of her. I don't remember. It was some kind of paper. She had put on a ball cap. And I walked in, and she was sitting there at the table, and she was looking at that paper, and there was a puddle of tears on that paper. And I kissed her on the head, and I turned around and walked off and went in the bathroom. And I went there and shaved my head as close as I could get it, because she didn't think I was going to do it.
Yeah.
And I shaved my hair as close as I could do it, and then I put shaving cream all over my head. And I walked in there with a razor, and I said, "Hey, how about helping me with this?" And I handed her that razor, and when she looked up, she just lit up. And she shaved my head for the first time.
Did she laugh at you?
It took some getting used to,
Yeah.
you know.
Because one memory that I will always remember of Sam is I used to love to make her laugh until she couldn't stand anymore. She'd start snorting. You know what I'm talking about?
She would.
I will never forget that because she would get so tickled that you You couldn't get her back for at least 30 minutes. She was gone.
Yep. So to go down to fast forward about a year before she passed away, she said, I want to sit down and talk to you. And I said, okay. She said, you know, God's told me he's not going to heal me here from this cancer this time. He's going to take me home.
Mm.
Wow.
And I said, you know, at that point it made me mad. I said, well, what else did he say?
Yeah. Yeah. Let me
Tell me about it, you know?
Yeah.
What am I supposed to do?
Yeah.
You know, I got two girls, you know? And I ain't exactly the gentlest kind of feller when I say things, you know? And so she says, she listed out 4 women's names. And she said, when something happens to me, these are the 4 women I approve of. You do what you want to do.
Who were the other 3? I'm just. I was waiting on it.
And she said, I approve these people. She said, you know, I have never had friends as long as we've been together. Girls, women that I went and hung out with. We went to eat, movies, shopping. She said, I've never done that. I said, right. But I noticed that she was starting to do that. And it kind of confused me a little bit. Like, why is she doing it? She ain't done this in 20 years. Why is she doing it now? You know? But what she was doing, and for lack of better terms, these women was going through interviews.
Yeah. She was dating for you.
You got that right.
Wow.
So I said, we're not talking about this. She said, oh, yes, we are.
Yeah.
This is what I'm telling you. So, time went on and it'd get brought up. I'd try to shoot it down. You know, no, we ain't doing this. We ain't talking about this. We ain't having these conversations. I don't want to have these conversations because I was still looking for that miracle.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And she had already said, God had told her, she said, I'm not worried about it no more. Mm-hmm. She said, I did tell God there's things that I got to do before I leave here. I've got to teach my girls certain things. Mm-hmm. And you got to promise me that I'm going to be here to do that. And she stood on that. And she done that.
Yeah.
She told me about a month before she passed away, she says, hey, we need to talk. And I said, okay. And she said, now at this point, she was on hospice. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't even sign the hospice because she was able to, and I was still looking for that miracle.
Yeah.
I wasn't signing hospice.
Yeah.
Mm. I still wanted that miracle. I was believing for that miracle. Mm-hmm. And she set me down about a month before she passed away, and she said, we need to talk again about these women. And I said, baby, we ain't talking about no women. She said, yeah, we are, and you're going to sit down, you're going to sit right here, and you're going to listen. And I said, okay. She said, this one, and this one, I'm taking off a list. She said, I've spent more time with them. You'll end up killing all 3 of them.
Wait, true story. She said that.
She did.
Oh, that's funny.
She sure did. She said, this one is, she said, the only one that I approve of. She said, I'm not telling you to marry this woman. I'm not telling you to date this woman. She said, I'm telling you what I approve of.
Yeah.
You do what you want to do. It's your life. She said, but Tonya is the woman that I trust with my girls and your heart.
Wow.
Wow.
And she said something else. She said, when something happens to me, you've got 90 days to move on.
Really?
She said, I've been with you 20-something years. She said, if you ain't moved in 90 days, you're going to die by yourself.
Wow.
And she said, so you got 90 days. She said, I ain't telling you to date her. I ain't telling you what to do. She said, but you got 90 days to move on. Start dating, to get out and do what you need to do.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, Tanya's not aware of any of this.
Yeah.
I didn't think anybody else was.
Yeah.
So she passes away. we come to church one day. And luckily, this woman don't go here no more, so I'm gonna put this out here. We ain't saying no names, but so the girls had done went. My daughters at this time, when their mama passed, was 15, 16 years old. They was in the truck waiting to go get something to eat, like we do every Sunday after church. They had went on and got in the truck, and they was waiting on me. Well, I come walking out across the parking lot. Well, here come this lady. Had to stop me middle of the parking lot out here, checking on the girls. I stood out here and talked to her for a few minutes. I get to the truck. My oldest daughter, y'all know Ainsley. Mm-hmm. She don't have mind saying well how she feels. Mm-hmm. I said I could tell when I got in the truck she was mad as fire about something. I could just tell that look on her face, and I said, "Baby, what's wrong?" "Nothing, Daddy. Let's just go eat." And I said, "No, baby, you know Daddy don't work like that. You gonna tell me what's wrong? By God, you gonna tell me right now." Mm-hmm. And she said, "That skank talking to you." So she said, "Mama told me," and I said, Whoa, wait a minute now. Mama told you what?" She said, "Mama told me."
Oh, no.
I said, "What did your mama tell you?" "Well, Mama told me who she picked out." I said, "What is your mama doing telling you stuff like that?" Well, she told me she needed me to know that she was okay with it, so that we didn't get mad at you.
Wow.
But there was other certain key people in our lives at that time that she had dropped hints to that would have my back.
Yeah.
During that time.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
People that she knew would stand up and say, "I know what she wanted. Mm-hmm. She told me."
Yeah.
So she had told key people in our lives that I only had 90 days. And she had told a few about Tonya.
Wow.
So
Isn't that crazy?
That's how Tonya got it.
I really
Did you know that?
Obviously, I was around for Sam.
Know that.
I was around for Sam. Obviously, I know everything that happened. I just didn't know how. I really didn't know that. I
Yeah.
also was an idiot. You know, so
No.
like I probably was like.
was?
But it was, it was. Thank
All right,
you.
let's put another.
No, but hey, but no, for real, because I remember, because my mom and Nanny, they took her to a lot of her appointments, so they spent a lot of time together, and I talk to my mom every day, so we talk and I ask how she was doing, and I remember you going through that afterwards. People were like, "Hey, he's moving too quick."
Yep.
And my mom,
Don't you think it was a little too fast?
yeah, oh yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
Mind your
you.
business.
I remember you going through that. I mean, both of y'all going through that.
Well, it was like Gwen says it all the time. She says, "Tonya, you always call it a God thing," because it was a God thing.
Yeah.
So the Friday before Sam passed, I went to our house.
Yeah.
I went over to their house and seen her, and your mom was there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I didn't know this until a few years later, but your mom ended up actually angry with me. Because she said that she knew that day, the Lord showed her that day, that I would be with Joel. So it was just like
Yeah.
it's a God thing.
So how did y'all? So
Let me say this.
how did he approach it?
He called.
Check yes or no.
He called me and he was like, because of course we talked some on the phone after all that happened.
Yeah.
And
But you would call checking on the
I would
girl.
call and check on her. Like she wanted me to go to Daytona with them
Yeah.
Her
for
last
vacation
trip.
on vacation, and I wouldn't go. But anyway, what was I saying?
No, but so how did he? So
Okay.
obviously, so from that point, you don't have to get too much in the weeds. Joel's getting nervous.
No.
Or do. No, but
He asked me one day. He's like, "What about if I took you for a sandwich?"
hey, the sandwich.
So
You know what
I was
sandwich
like-
means? No.
Now tell the truth.
I cussed
What did you do?
I cussed him.
You cussed me out like a dog. She sure did.
I was like,
Poor Joel.
Well,
I wouldn't
I mean,
do that to
you
you,
know,
buddy.
Hey, that's
My
Tonya, the
friend-
firecracker.
my friend had just passed away. You know what I'm saying? And now her husband's trying to hit on me. To the dog, no, sucker. I was like, what the heck? You know, I was so shook.
So what made you change your mind?
You know me, I'm a badger, so I was just like, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. And eventually he was like, okay, listen, this is where I'm at with it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
That she didn't tell you that was on the 89th day.
Wow.
I called her and asked her out
Wow.
and got talked to like a dog, Caleb.
I wouldn't do
Man.
that.
What'd you say to God after that?
I didn't.
I did.
Now I'm put Sam on the phone real quick.
Yeah, please.
You just cut it real close on the 89th day there, buddy.
Yeah. But and my whole point was, I could have probably went out and done, my own thing. Where was I going to end up?
Yeah.
What was I going to do?
Right.
Yeah.
Am I going back to my old ways? Or should I just go ahead and see where this was going? Why waste my time on something else when I already knew what I had to do anyway?
Yeah.
I had to at least try, because she thought so much of Tonya.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had to at least try.
Yeah.
And I had to, because she had made that promise
Yeah.
before she left here. She said, "You're going to promise me."
Yeah.
And,
Interesting.
so I said, there ain't no need wasting no time on none of these other women. I'm going to ask her out for the first, at the 90 days, and we'll see where it goes.
When did she finally say yeah?
we went out.
We went out on the
Your
weekend
mama had her
after.
down, so like a couple weeks
Yes.
ago was the anniversary of it.
Yes, my mama writes everything. Well, you know that.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
writes everything down.
Everything's on her calendar.
Your birthday's on her calendar.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Dude, that's
She
funny.
said, Joel proposed to you. No, she said, y'all went on your first date this past week. It was the anniversary of that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that's
No,
funny.
yeah.
That's
Wow.
funny.
Yeah, I mean, it was. We had some family members that had a problem with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
And there was a lot of people, and like
people
I
in
would
the
tell
church.
people,
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
people had,
Yeah.
there was a lot of resistance, like people that were, especially people that served under them, and it was, I'm going to tell you this, it was a struggle for me.
Yeah, I bet.
Stepping into that role.
I bet.
And I'm not like super, I haven't been here super long. Well, yeah, I had.
Yeah, you have now. Yeah.
Yeah. But,
So let me ask you this, Tonya. How was that for you going from, from being a member to then having to face adversity just by?
it was a very difficult time for me.
Yeah.
Very difficult time for me.
she had a hard time, and we had to have some
I mean, there was
pretty.
times where I didn't want to be here, like in the
Yeah.
church.
Yeah.
But I knew for me personally that I had to be here
Yeah.
under
Yeah.
Bishop, even when I didn't want to be here.
And with your favorite Bible college teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
was
we
a
had to
very
have.
difficult time.
Yeah, we had to have some very intense conversations with some of the members of the ministry
Yeah.
during that time.
Just to be understood. I mean, I get it.
Yeah,
It's a
for
part
sure.
of the process. I mean, but it was very difficult for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before, was you about to?
Oh, no, please let him talk. He
Yeah,
hasn't said
sorry,
anything
yeah.
the whole time.
I'm sorry, pal. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Nah, I was just, I guess we can count this as my last thing I got to say.
Yeah, because we
But-
don't hear anything else after this. Yeah.
But no, seriously. I don't think Joel and Tonya know the significant. How can I put this?
You gonna start crying?
It's. I ain't gonna hold you. I might. For real. I might just for real.
You do, I do. So we're all
Nah, for real. Stop. Nah. I always call Pastor Joel Pastor Joel. I don't. I'm very. I don't care about titles,
Yeah.
neither.
but since I met him, he's been the same person from day one.
Yeah.
When I first met him, he told me his name, whole nine. since that day, he has been Pastor Joel. And you've, both of y'all have done some things I don't think y'all even really know because I hadn't told you. But first thing was when the thing that I talk about all the time, and they make fun of me at times about sleeping on couches. They always made sure I was good. They went and broadcast it in front of people, but they would always check on me and make sure that I was 100% good to go. When I was single by myself, Thanksgiving, Pastor Joel called, hey, I got this turkey. I got this turkey. When you getting it? He didn't give me a chance to say yes or no. If I wanted it, if I did want it. When you getting it?
Now you want it. You
right.
want it. You want it.
Right. And who he say that he is who he say he is.
No doubt. Yeah.
For sure.
He is that person, and so is Tonya.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And something that was life changing for me was going to Daytona.
Yeah.
Man, listen. They got me down there.
Finally.
They got me down there, man. And it was only I could only be there for 2 days. Only for 2 days, and I had to come back. And God showed me things about myself down there. And it was several situations that I was in to where I knew that God had to be using me. Like people, y'all two know, but I really do struggle when it comes to God using me. I struggle. That's a weakness of mine. I struggle with it. But when I was down there, man, to hear and just like sit in front of somebody, and like I'm like, God, like how do I break this ice with these people?
Mm-hmm.
How am I going to do this? And just to hear him speak, and I speak what he speak, and to just see how people's hearts were opening up, and the change that was happening in front of you, just from ministering to them, it was, for me, it was life changing.
Yeah,
it was life changing, and one was very dangerous. It was very dangerous. It was very dangerous. It was nighttime.
Okay.
And we was sitting out on the corner. It sounds very bad, but we was on the corner. And
what were y'all doing?
But we was doing a little bit of ministering. We were. For real, we were.
You do hang out.
I've called it that.
Right.
I've called it that before too.
Right. And for real, we're across.
Is that what you said when the cop asked you what you were doing?
Yeah,
You
just ministry.
Right. Nah, but we were across the street, and I'll never forget. It was me, Rick, Destiny, and maybe like 2 or 3 other people. I'm not sure. And this guy walks up, and he says something real out of the way to Destiny. And the first thing I think is like, I'm about to put hands on this dude. Because it's, you know how you get, man. You're around, like, to me, like, Destiny feel like a little sister.
Yeah.
Right? So for him to just walk up out of nowhere and start talking crazy to her, I'm like, hold up, bro. So I'm like, okay, I know Joel. I know Joel is over there, so we're going to be good.
If I get whooped, he's coming.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But no, seriously, man, the way God ended up moving in that situation, bro, like, I was like, yo, God, this is amazing. And I wanted to get back down there, but unfortunately, like you said, things happen and we haven't been able to get back down there. But I want to get back.
Yeah.
Whenever we can make that happen, I really want to get back down there, because you haven't seen ministry until you actually get out in the streets. And
exactly.
Whoever you say you're called to be, you'll really find out who you really called to be when you actually get out there in the streets and have to deal with somebody that is, one, probably not really open to you even talking to them about God.
Yeah.
But because God is in you, you understand how to move, and the words that come out of you speak life into them.
Yeah.
It's really nothing like it.
Yeah.
It's really nothing like it. But I'm just thankful. I thank God for both of y'all. And I was telling him the other day, I don't even think you know, Tonya. We was in school at the same time. I would see you every single day. Every single day. Every single day.
He said she.
And now, like now,
his most famous line is, "She used to hang out with the rednecks."
yeah. I wasn't talking to Tonya.
Not back in the time. Nope.
No. But it's just funny to see full circle, to see the woman of God that she's turned into now.
Yeah.
And just, I mean, yeah, I'm really thankful to know y'all.
One thing I do want to bring up, just I know we got to wrap up soon, but it's fine. But the full circle moment from talking about you alone in your truck, handing out care packages to homeless. I do not want to move on from this episode without mentioning what you guys just did in Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Not only that, but also I want you to talk about that building in Africa.
Yes.
And let's tie it all together with this, because I feel like this is.
I agree.
Yeah, and then let's talk about what's next for Spoken For.
Yep.
Okay. Well, we just done the first motorcycle ministry mission trip to Kenya. I'd been to Kenya several times with the church, but never had went. Honestly, well, we had went with the outreach the time before. It was more of an outreach trip, but I'd never. We had never led a team. Me and Tonya led a team this time to Africa. But the time before we went, we actually went over to dedicate a building in Sam's name. She was such a big part of our missions, outreach, all that of this church. She got us, she's the one who used to book all our plane tickets. She was the Ashton for a long time.
Shout out Ashton.
But she hooked all, she booked all our motels. She put in everybody's plane ticket, She set everything up. So she passed away, and
may I say this on that though? She is actually, just for people who don't know, she is the one who basically forced my dad into stepping into the door to go to Africa.
Yes, yes.
Yep. He'll even tell you if it wasn't for her, he probably wouldn't have went on that first trip.
Yep.
So they wanted to remember her. So they built at an orphanage there for Connect with a Child. They built this beautiful 2-story conference center. And we actually got over. They wanted to name the building after her. So we went over there in, what year was that? 23? We went in 23 and actually dedicated that building. So, and I talked to Bishop Tom over there when I was there and said, look, man, we want to come do something.
Yeah.
Daytona's, we've lost our spot at Daytona now. We're really missing this one-on-one stuff, this being able to get out and let food open the door for Jesus, And I said, we really want to get out here and do something. So we talked some, and back a few weeks ago we went. We went over there. Definitely different than what we'd done in Daytona.
You guys purchased a whole cow, right?
Yeah, multiple, right?
Oh, we bought a whole cow and a bunch of chickens.
And then he proceeds to tell Joel,
Bishop Tom, yeah.
You guys are going to slaughter this cow.
Whoa.
Now,
y'all started it?
No.
Hold on. I'm sorry.
So,
oh my God.
So, I told him, okay, the way that they do it there is different than the way that it's done here in America. Okay, now I was raised up around this kind of stuff. You know, slaughterhouses, things like that. My best friend growing up, his granddaddy owned a slaughterhouse, so we was in the back of that slaughterhouse. We played back there.
Yeah.
While they was back there butchering animals. You know, that stuff never bothered me.
Yeah.
The way that it had to be done there, I was not comfortable doing. I would have done it. I would have killed that cow, and it would have not. I would have been fine doing that. But they had a butcher knife with no guard on it, homemade. The handle went straight from the handle to the blade.
Oh yeah.
Nothing to stop your hand.
You get blood on there.
So they was telling me how they wanted me to do this. Well, first they wanted you to knock the cow unconscious.
With what?
His fist.
That butcher knife.
Okay.
You got to fist fight the cow first.
There's a seam on a cow's skull runs all the way down the center. It's about a 1/4 inch wide. Well, you got to hit that butcher knife in that seam and hit him between his eyes, and it kind of knocks him unconscious long enough for you to do the next part. I did not feel comfortable coming from a butcher knife from back here
and just slamming it.
and hitting a 1/4 inch line.
Yeah.
And I told him, I said, look, dude, you know, we paid for this cow.
Yeah.
You can at least get this farmer to put him on the ground for me.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't mind doing everything past that. He can at least, because, you know, you can't disrespect the animals when you're over there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's a little bit different than over here.
And they use
They look at it
everything.
different. And
Yeah.
yes, they use everything. The only thing they throwed away was his snort, you know?
Yeah.
And
On the road to do it.
so we took care of the chickens
Yeah.
after they showed us the way they did it. We took care of the chickens. But we cooked on open fires. There is no stoves. There is no,
It's a whole different.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know, you set 3 rocks down, build a fire between them 3 rocks, and you bring a pot over and set it on them rocks. You know, and that's how we cooked over there.
Yeah.
But we was able to cook a village that only gets meat once, maybe twice a year.
Wow.
We fed a village of over 800 people that day.
Wow.
They had meat, they had beef, and they had chicken, rice,
Cabbage.
chapati,
Chapati. Oh my God.
ugali.
Chapati.
Oh God.
I bet you they had
Ugali.
400 pounds of ugali.
Wow.
Oh, they love that.
There was 150 pounds of rice cooked that day
wow.
for them. 800 people.
Do you like ugali?
Yes.
Yes.
You
Once
like
I
it?
was taught how to eat it.
Yeah. See, for me, it's so
you gotta
bland.
eat like an African
Yeah,
in
you gotta
order
like your food, though, you
to like ugali.
Now, hey,
Yeah.
chapati bread with any kind of meat, I'm down. The pepper
Yeah.
sauce that Cecilia makes,
Yeah.
I'm down. Did she make it when you were there?
I'm sure.
Out of the Kenyan chilies?
I don't know.
It's like really spicy. Maddie could only put a little dip on the end of her fork and she was done. Adrian, he liked it though.
But
Anyway, sorry.
we was able to feed that village that only got meat like once or twice a year, and I asked Bishop afterwards. I said, you know, is this a normal meal they get? And they said, no, that was their Christmas meal.
Wow.
Wow.
He said normally they only get to eat like this on Christmas.
Wow.
And some of them had not had meat in
Yeah.
2 years.
Wow.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah. So we got to go over there and do that, you know, and everything we do, we go to be a blessing to somebody else.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, we're always the ones that get the blessing.
Yes,
Yep.
sir.
We
Of
get
course.
blessed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought we'd done something for them, but they didn't get nearly what we got out of it.
Yeah.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
I'm going to ask both of you. So, like, what was your biggest takeaway from this last trip, or the biggest thing that God deposited in you on this trip? It's a deep question.
It
So
is
think
deep.
about
It's
it.
deep, yeah. And we'll be right back. No, I'm just kidding.
I guess what really got showed to me is even though some of those people there, they don't understand. They may speak our language, but they don't understand our language.
Yeah.
That no matter where you at in this world, if you show love, everybody takes it the
They
same
get that.
way.
Come on.
Wow.
They get that. Yeah.
They understand that.
Yeah.
Yes.
No matter what part of the world
Come
you're
on, man.
in,
That's good. Yeah.
if you love them, that's all you need to know.
Hey.
Love
Dude, man.
Hey, dropping bombs, Joel.
Yeah.
Love is
We don't need to hear from you,
universal
Tony. That was
language.
enough.
Yeah, sorry. No, but for what's
How
what?
come behind that?
No.
That was
That's
good.
rookie talk.
Love is a language, baby.
Love surpasses all things.
Yeah.
No, but just something that maybe this trip stood out to you that was different than the others, because I know the other mission trips you've been on were more ministry. Like,
Yeah.
when I say ministry based, I mean like preaching and
Yeah, we don't do all that.
We don't believe in the preaching.
Yeah,
We'll go away and find another preacher to
That's
do that
it.
for us while we're there. We gonna cook.
Yeah, exactly. We'll make you a meal if you preach for us.
Yeah.
All right, bet.
I think Kennedy said, well, he said, in CI, we were in CI, and he said, I had never heard of a feeding mission.
Wow.
And I said, you've never heard of a feeding mission? And he says, no. He said, but that was love in action.
Correct. Yeah. Good.
And that's what stuck out with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The love in action.
Yeah.
Because I even told your dad, I was like, hey, that's something right there, love in action.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say earlier, one thing is I've always seen, my dad preach from the podium. Of course, him doing it outside of church too. But one thing that really humbled me, even as a kid, was seeing Joel humble himself with these people and really show the love of Jesus. I was like, oh, great, I can get up and preach a message, but can I go do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, I asked myself that as a 13-year-old kid, 14-year-old kid. I'm like, yeah, I'm cool with going to preach a message or talking to the youth class, but every time he'd ask me to go feed the homeless with him, I'd be like,
But see,
tough.
that,
I don't know about
the
that.
funny thing is like for us to get up and speak is, but to do this,
Correct.
Yeah.
is so much easier.
I don't feel like,
yeah,
and I've had to do it, but I don't feel like my place in ministry is behind
Yeah.
the pulpit.
Yeah.
That's not my
we all
place
have
in
different
ministry.
callings. Yeah. No, you're right. You're right.
Bishop used to make me do it, and I'd have to do it, and I did not like it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I still
Sorry.
don't like it.
that's my dad. Put him on the fire.
Thanks a lot, Bishop. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So, thankfully, you're still here and you didn't leave. So, no, and it seriously has been. You guys have been a blessing in my life too, just to see your obedience, because it takes a special person to do what you guys do. For you to pick up where Sam left off, I honor that because that's hard, And like you said, all the persecutions and the side eyes and the side comments. I can't imagine. That's tough. But God is honored what you guys are doing, and He blesses that. I'm thankful that I get to know you guys. I'm thankful for what you do. I know the church is thankful. For you guys that are listening, this is something that you want to be a part of. This just goes to show you that church is beyond our four walls.
That's it.
Church is what you guys are doing and getting out there and the less fortunate, taking it to the less fortunate. So we definitely can't wrap this thing up, though, before we talk about what's going on in 1 week. And yes, this is going on in 1 week. What's going on in 1 week?
I'm gonna let you talk. You ain't talking.
Yeah,
Let's go.
I've been talking the
What's
whole time.
what's happening in 1
Okay, so
week?
we're going to have Biker Weekend,
Come on.
Yep.
and it's a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, which is November 14th, 15th, and 16th. I don't know who to look at. Friday night?
All of us at the same time.
Yeah, all of us. Just keep them all. Yeah.
Friday night, we're going to have a bonfire
Yep.
and free food. We're going to have hamburgers.
My hamburger.
Come
Not
on,
none
hey.
of them in no
Come
bowl.
on.
Hey.
They gonna
Joel
be hand
hamburgers.
And so
patty.
Yep.
this year, we have decided not to do chips. We are
Okay.
going to do home fries.
Let's go.
Oh.
Let's go.
So cheeseburger and home fries Friday night, and then Saturday we're gonna have lunch here at 12 o'clock. We're gonna have we're not gonna say that because people might not come.
Oh,
No, we're gonna have chili and soup, like a soup bar.
Yeah.
But we're gonna be celebrating someone that
Let's go.
day.
Yeah.
Pastor Ray. It's gonna be his birthday.
Yeah.
So we're
Wow.
gonna
Okay.
celebrate him, and then his wife will be preaching that evening,
Let's go.
and we'll be feeding you again for free.
Man, look at that. Look at
Man.
God.
We're gonna have smoked chicken,
Oh my.
and then Pastor Pastor Susan will preach at 7 o'clock that evening.
Yeah.
And then on Sunday, we'll have TT, Minister
Shout out
TT.
TT.
And we'll feed you again for free
Man.
on Sunday.
Let's go.
Man.
Listen.
I know one thing. I'm gonna be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
Y'all gonna
gonna
be
I'm
there.
going home.
Yeah. Hey, yeah. You said I didn't have to listen to the message. I'm just come eat back.
I do want to say this. Can I add? Because I do want to add to
Yes,
let's go.
please.
this last trip to Africa. Joel and I both felt like we were fulfilling Bishop's vision
Yeah.
by bringing Jeff and Jenna and Kramer, because that's this is the vision. It
Yeah.
wants to be global.
That's
and
it.
I felt like we took it global.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I really believe that. He wants us to come back and do it again.
That's right. And we need to do that. We need to give a shout out to Brothers Forgiving Motorcycle Ministry.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah, no doubt. Do it. Yeah.
We worked together a lot of times. They was always one of the ministries that showed up for Bike Week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they would come in 20 deep,
Wow.
30 deep, whatever. And didn't matter what was going on, they was going to get in there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They was on, if the floor needed to be mopped or bathroom needed to be cleaned, you didn't have to tell them. They jumped on it and go with it.
Yeah.
And so we was able to take two Brothers Forgiven members and their wives with us to Africa this year. Went with us so that we can start branching this thing out.
Yeah.
even
That's
bigger.
awesome.
Man, talk about full circle.
Yeah.
Starting out in the Miracle Center with a vision, or actually starting out in your truck, on your way
And
home,
the out care packages.
seeing someone taking that first step, and think, okay, you remember we talk about the power of seed? Mm-hmm. Think about the small seed you sowed then, and then it took that one seed that you sowed, took
And
you
now-
all the way to
now
Africa,
you're going to Africa.
provided for a whole village of 800 people. Some people who hadn't had meat in 3 years. We don't know what that's like here.
No.
We have no clue, but the miracle that is just, it's and a lot of the stuff you even mentioned about, y'all's story, and it's stuff I didn't even know, and it's just,
Yeah. Me too. Yeah.
no, I honestly, I've really enjoyed this episode.
Well, yeah. I think it's so funny because when you and I talked, she was like, I'll probably have to do more of the talking because Joel's not going to.
Joel, yeah, hey, I was like, I didn't stop. I was like, keep going, baby, keep going.
Let's go.
He was in it.
We love that because people, they look at you and you're scary, and so it's good for real. It's good to see that side of you. And I want to say this because I felt led to say this, like for you guys that are listening, if this is something you want to be a part of and you feel led to come and give and sow into your community or just be a part of the outreach team, Pastor Joel and Pastor Tonya are just some great people just to be under. Come get under them, let them guide you and develop you and help you grow in that ministry if that's something that you want to be a part of. So 4051 Highway 81 South, Covington, Georgia.
Guide you, not coddle you, because they're gonna make disciples out of you.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally it. I'm thankful for both of you. Seriously.
I am too. Thank
Thanks
you
for having us.
Yes, thanks for having us.
Thank y'all for
I watch
coming
every
on.
week.
Yeah.
Because knowing my uncle, when I was thinking about it, I was like, I want him to be on the podcast, and I was
Yeah.
like, he's probably going to tell me no.
Seriously.
But
It's
I'm so grateful.
It's been such a blessing. There's been so many
Yeah.
things that you've said, little nuggets that you've dropped. I'm proud of you. Seriously. From what you
Pat me right here.
Hold up your head on the
Give him an attaboy. Give him an attaboy.
Seriously, it is just awesome to see you guys just in work, in action together. It is powerful. So,
And one last thing I want to encourage Tonya. Tonya, you are one of the most powerful women too, and you don't realize it. Because seriously, coming through what you went through to
Correct.
keep your own identity
Yes.
when everybody
Yeah.
else was trying to compare you to the other, and to
And you know what? I want to say this. I want to add. I struggled with that.
yeah,
With my
no,
identity.
and that's fair.
I know.
Because of that. Because
Yeah.
of that.
Correct, but to be able to pioneer your own way, and for you and him to be able to work together and get through that together
powerful.
is a testament of
Yeah.
God's faithfulness, and it's only the beginning of what He's doing in your lives.
Yeah.
I feel like it is too.
Yeah.
And hey, listen, we want to help you guys too. I'm serious.
Good. I'll give you my checking account number when I.
No, I didn't mean money. I meant let me invest time. Let me invest time. Come on, God.
Let's add that.
Bro.
Let's add that. Let's go ahead and say that real quick.
What?
'Cause and he talks about giving and all, but that's one thing people don't understand. You need to give your time.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
got to give your time.
Right.
That is the part of it I think a lot of people miss.
Yeah.
And then people they call it cliques here in the church. No, it's not cliques.
No.
We just come to church.
Yeah.
Together.
You
Exactly.
Come be a part of it. Just come talk.
Yeah,
to
come
us.
on,
You
come
just
talk.
gotta Come.
Exactly. Don't be scared of us.
And if you come, Joel might feed you. So
You never know.
come on. You just got to show up, baby. We love you guys. We thank you for listening every week. We couldn't do this without you guys. Thank you to Pastor Joel and Pastor Tonya for coming on. Thank you to Ashton for all she does behind the scenes. This has been another episode of
Living Beyond Sunday.
Living Beyond Sunday.
We'll see you next week.